So in just the last couple hours, Aaron Rodgers officially became a free agent for the first time in his 20-year NFL career. So now it means that somebody who used to be one of the greatest quarterbacks ever is up for grabs. His resume includes a Super Bowl title, 4 MVPs. He is also 41, coming off of 2, let's just say, rough years after signing with the Jets. Hurt on the 4th play of his first year there, missed the season. Last year, they only won 5 games and decided not to bring him back. But what makes this more than simply an ESPN story, right, is the way that Rodgers' career touches not just the world of sports, but the world of business and politics, too. Look at the way his name has been in the headlines in the last few years. From his weekly appearances on Pat McAfee's show to family drama, sharing conspiracy theories, his anti-vaccine advocacy. At one point, his name was floated around as a potential pick for Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s running mate back when RFK was a candidate. All that aside, some teams may still think Rodgers has enough left in the tank to get them to the promised land, to the Super Bowl. Of course, the current reigning champions are the Philadelphia Eagles. Steve Patterson is joining us now. All right,
of course you had to say that.
It's just a factual observation. What do we know about who may be willing to bring Rodgers on board now? Because there is a lot that comes with him, or that at least he's involved with off the field as well. I think that's fair to say, no?
Of course it's fair to say. Look, I mean, there's so much baggage associated with this guy, not to mention his age, not to mention the salary he's going to demand, not to mention all the stuff that you mentioned that is completely outside of football. I think we should say, though, despite all of that, this is still Aaron Rodgers, right? This is still one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game. He's definitely going to go to the Hall of Fame. And this is a position and a role in a sport where veterancy does matter. So these teams are looking at a guy that knows a thing or two about how to throw the football around, right? There's a 3-team race right now that everybody's talking about. Giants, Steelers, Vikings. I would put that in order of difficulty for Aaron Rodgers, right? So let's go from easiest to hardest for Aaron Rodgers. The easiest would for him to just sign up with the Giants. He's already in New York. Rumor is he's got a house in New Jersey. Everybody hates moving. He doesn't have to move his family. It would be kind of a culture fit because the Giants stink. Like, they haven't been good for a while. They don't have an elite quarterback. They need an elite quarterback. So they're going to pay him a lot of money. If he wants the bag and he wants not to move, that's the best place for him. The Steelers would be a little bit more difficult, although this would be sort of the play for another ring, right? They have the best team. They have the best coach. They had the best record. Like, they're actually doing well. If they were to get him, that might sort of be the last piece remaining to get over the line for something better. However, he's not probably going to make the same amount and probably won't have the same high influence on the culture there because they have such a strong coach, and because they pay the defense, I think, more than any other defense in the league. The last play, least likely, and for my money, would be the Vikings. They already have a guy named J.J. McCarthy. He is a rookie. He got hurt his rookie year, but they see him as the franchise guy. So he would go there sort of to embolden his legacy by being a mentor. I'm not sure Aaron Rodgers is going to want to do that if it means he might be on the bench a little bit. Callie? Just
real quick, though, Steve, because we talk about how Rodgers touches, like, sports and politics and business here, and the business angle is interesting when you think about, like, the massive amounts of money that teams will pay for a quarterback, given how many eyeballs the NFL gets.
Yeah, it's huge, right? I mean, the cultural impact of being an NFL quarterback, I think it's huge. I mean, just look at the numbers on screen. It's ridiculous, right? But I think the counter to that is, like, you could win the NHL with not an elite goalie. You could win the NBA with not necessarily the most elite point guard. I don't think you can win the NFL without one of the most elite quarterbacks. If you look at the list of people who have won the Super Bowl, they're either in the Hall of Fame or headed that way. Most of those guys, it is because it is probably the most outsized role in all of sports, right? It is the brain, it is the heart, it is the soul, it is everything. And I think it's, compensated because of that. Callie?
Okay. Do you think the most recent Super Bowl champion quarterback is headed to the Hall of Fame? There is only one correct answer, Steve.
No comment.
We'll discuss this offline. Thank you, Steve Patterson. Appreciate you live for us out there in LA.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.